What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on the Civic again. And for those of you that are new to the channel and do not know, this is my 1997 Honda Civic DX Coupe. It comes with a D16 Y7 engine, and I swapped in a Y8 intake manifold, so that's why it may not look like a Y7. And then obviously you can see that we slapped on a turbo, and I am running a stock ECU, so no electronic tuning. And the way that I am trying to tune it is with a Blocks Racing FMU. Paired with that, I have a Suabru 255 fuel pump, and then I am running D16 Y8 injectors. So I believe the Y7 injectors are like 140 or 160 cc, and these are, or maybe they're 180, and these are 240, I think. So it adds a little bit of fuel. The way, if you're not familiar with an FMU, the way an FMU works is so this is plumbed into the fuel return, and as this sees boost, it blocks off your fuel return, forcing more fuel pressure through your injectors. So once I added the Y8 injectors, things kind of got really rich. So I may, if I can't get things to calm down a little bit, I may end up putting the Y7 injectors back in. However, I have a 12-to-1 FMU, and it's kind of seeming like I need a 10-to-1 FMU. I am trying to get a 10-to-1 conversion kit where it's just like you open up the FMU and put the 10-to-1 disc in there. But for some reason, Blocks Racing discontinued that. There is another company, maybe it was Vortec, I can't remember. Their FMU looks identical to this one, and they do sell that 10-to-1 conversion kit, but not 100% sure if it's going to fit, and their customer service did not want to help me out at all. So we'll circle back around to that later on. Anyway, so I got the FMU. I've got an adjustable fuel pressure regulator, which is actually going to be the issue in today's video. And I'm also running the missing link, which I installed in the last video. And what that does, that is basically a hack to prevent your map sensor from seeing boost, so your car does not go into limp mode. So anyways, today's issue, like I said, is with the fuel pressure regulator. Not necessarily the fuel pressure regulator, but just fuel pressure in general. So the other day I started up the car and I was letting it run. I was actually going to go drive it, and I just happened to glance at the fuel pressure gauge, and this gauge was maxed out. Now, base fuel pressure is set to 35. So start the car, pull your vacuum line off and make sure it's sealed shut so there's no vacuum leak, and set your fuel pressure to like 35. Then it was like, as the car warmed up, that just progressively climbed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the car up here and see if I can show you guys, and then we're gonna try to dig into some diagnostics. What are the odds that this thing starts? As you can see, I've got the battery charger on it, but I just put that on maybe half hour ago, so might have to grab the jump pack. Oh yeah, we're good. So, as you can see, there it is. If we take the vacuum line off, I've got base fuel pressure right around 35 pounds. Now let's see if we can get it to raise up like it was doing. See what wideband the car's running right now. We're at 11.2 on the wideband, which really isn't bad. I mean, it's very rich, don't get me wrong, but it's not the worst it's ever been, put it that way. All right, it's not doing it. Let's go take a drive. So, right now it seems to be running pretty normal as far as the fuel pressure. So I'm a little confused. Maybe once we get it going, get the RPMs up and get the fuel flowing through it, get the FMU working, it might start doing it again, or maybe it fixed itself. Right now our AFR is running at 11, which is good compared to what it's been. Like, it's been running around like 9, like very rich, almost like the FMU is stuck closed or something. See, so right now it's running 9, super lean or rich. So right now it almost seems like it is stuck. Like it almost seems like maybe the FMU is stuck closed. So I'm getting maximum fuel pressure right now. All right, let's go see what our FMU's sitting at, or our fuel pressure. So there you go. That is what it's been doing. I kind of think it's the FMU. All right, I shut it off for a little bit. Let's start it back up and just see if that like reset it. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. Okay, so that's kind of weird. I almost wonder if it's the vacuum source that we're using on the FMU isn't getting a good enough vacuum reading. So maybe we'll just switch the vacuum source and try again. So I just revved it up and you saw it climb there and it's not going back down. I'm just going to change this vacuum source here and just see if that happens to make a difference. I kind of doubt it will, but I just want to try it. Right now, I've got the boost gauge, the wastegate, and the FMU all running into one. I am going to share my FMU with the fuel pressure regulator and just see what that does. From what I've seen, you always want the fuel pressure regulator to be on its own thing so it sees like the best vacuum source. But I'm just gonna change that around real quick and just see if that makes any difference. All right, I should be able to tell if things are not fixed because as you could probably understand, my wideband gets very rich. So we'll see if once we do a pull, if that thing kind of stays or goes rich and stays. It's honestly looking pretty good right now. Maybe not. Maybe not. So far, no good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just gonna bypass the missing link. The reason I'm doing that is because, one, just to check it off the list. Two, I didn't notice this happening until after I installed the missing link. I don't know if that was just a coincidence of when I noticed it, but I'm just gonna bypass it just to see. And my car was running fine without the missing link. So let's just get rid of that, see if the issue changes. If not, what we're gonna do after that is get the fuel pressure maxed out, get the issue going. Then I am going to physically suck on this port.
What?
So that the FMU sees vacuum and see if the FMU returns back to open. Because what it seems like it's doing is that's getting stuck closed. So it's almost like it's not seeing a vacuum source to pull it back open. So I'm gonna see if I can physically pull vacuum on it when it is stuck. If I can't, then I may end up taking this thing apart and seeing if I can tell if stuff's getting bind up in there. But for now, let's get rid of the missing link. So I don't have a vacuum port plug handy. So I'm just going to use this port for the FMU temporarily. I mean, maybe not temporarily. If this works, I'll probably just leave it how it is, to be honest with you. All right, so removing the missing link did not work, unfortunately. I kind of had high hopes for that because that could bleed off vacuum, which would make the FMU not see vacuum and in turn not pull it back open. So unfortunately, when I pulled the car back in the driveway, I turned it off, which reset the whole system, which made our problem go away temporarily. So we need to get our problem back, and then I'm going to try to manually show the FMU vacuum and see if that works. If that doesn't work, I'm almost thinking the FMU is stuck, And but I don't know, if it was stuck, then it wouldn't just easily reset every time the car shut off. So I don't know. Let's see. All right, so as it sat there, it gradually climbed. Now let's try to show the FMU vacuum. I'll tell you what, it's really weird. It's almost like there is a vacuum leak. Maybe I've got a vacuum leak that I don't know about. Okay, so showing the FMU vacuum did not work, which at first was going to tell me that the FMU was binding up and getting stuck. However, I don't think it is, because every time we turn the car off and turn it back on, it returns back to normal. The fuel pressure does. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to completely bypass the FMU. Now, this is going to make the car run lean, so we're not going to do pulls. Or we'll see what we can get away with the wideband gauge, but let's go ahead and bypass the FMU. All right, FMU gone. Actually, we have a vacuum leak right here. Let me get a plug if I have one. Should be able to shove this on here. Perfect. All right, let's see what happens. Fuel pressure's normal right now. All right, let's take it down the road again. Stay out of boost as much as we need to. Pay attention to our wideband. I'm sure it's gonna get very lean when we drive this thing. Very lean when we go into boost, I should say. Yep. Instantly goes lean, which it should. I mean, that just tells us our FMU is working. So what I'm curious about is if the fuel pressure is redlining, which I highly, highly doubt it, which means it is our FMU, but I don't know what our FMU is doing. I'm not fully convinced the FMU is broken. Yeah, I can already tell. I can already tell our fuel pressure is normal. So stuff is pointing in the direction of the FMU being messed up. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it apart and see if I can see anything, see if it's something we can fix, or see if I need to completely buy a whole new FMU. Now, it's kind of bittersweet because, well, hold on. Let's just crack into this thing and then I'll talk. Nothing messed up so far, it seems. I don't quite know what I'm looking at, but so I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but there are some little dents in these shims here. This O-ring seems fine. Trying to think how this thing works. So if that's your flow. So all I can see with the FMU are those two little divots, or three little divots in the shims. I don't know if that would affect it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna talk to the guys at Blocks Racing, see if they can tell me anything. Parts for these things are hard to get. I don't think they sell parts for these things anymore. So I may have to completely switch FMUs. I may have to go to like Vortec or something. And if I do, I think I'm gonna get a 10-to-1. Because it seems like 12-to-1 might be a little on the rich side. I mean, that's pretty aggressive. And we're only, I mean, we're in a Honda Civic running under 10 pounds of boost. So, and some might say, well, turn the boost up. Well, as you turn the boost up, your FMU closes off even more, and it gets even richer, you know. So anyway, another thing I need to look into is the injectors. It makes sense. People are saying that I need a Y8 ECU if I'm going to run Y8 injectors. So I honestly can probably afford to put the Y7 injectors back in it, because I think the car was running pretty decent with those in. So anyway, I'm going to do some research, see what I can find out. If any of you guys have any knowledge about any of this stuff, please comment down below, because I mean, this is all new to me. So feel free to educate me. If I've said anything wrong in this video, educate me, because I'm learning just like some of you guys are. I know this was kind of a random video, but thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you watched it to this far in. Thank you so much. And stay tuned to figure out what's wrong with this thing. I will catch you guys in the next one.